But he is essentially is like a free editor for them and draws an audience. He just found a little niche and he got permission to do it. So good for him. But it's not like he really created anything. He's just doing reaction videos, which is a creation, but it's not original. I mean, I think recording Clown House is actually original content as opposed to like, doing an overlay or a commentary or a critique. And what you're really doing is you're honing your debate and communication skills on this app. It's a public speaking competitive app with a dopamine drip attached to it. It's like, show me how much of a piece of trash you are so I can film you. Because you are an unrepentant piece of trash. Literally, the shit you hear on this app is so horrific. If you were to like bring Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, Sam Adams in a time machine, and you were like, "Hey, we want to let you hear what a modern America sounds like. Could you do this for an hour? Can you just listen in for an hour?" They'd be looking at each other like, "Oh my God, what the fuck have we done?" But it's just not true. I mean, I'm just saying English speakers' standards have fallen drastically. It's kind of a cool thing about English is that it's so diverse now. I mean, if you think that's cool, if you think listening to Kendrick Lamar is like the, you know, the the high point of culture and music. And I'm not saying I don't like Kendrick Lamar. Have you ever heard the Haters Chant by Kendrick Lamar? It's a good song.
No.
No.
It's a beautiful music video. It's a slow motion video.
I mean, he's good. I don't hate Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah, but don't you think he's essentially a piece of shit?
I mean, we're all pieces of shit.
I agree, but I mean, what do you think about that one song, being popularized? We Not Like Yous.
I don't like the fact that that song won a Grammy, and I don't like that that was like the Super Bowl song. And I don't really like Kendrick Lamar, but I respect him as an artist.
Yeah. I think I'm talking about Kendrick Lamar, the Haters Chant. I was reading an article about P. Diddy and his mom and how he used to like terrorize his mom violently. But and then the author was like, but his mom loved him. She was just trying to calm him down.
It's always to do with the mother, man. Like, Jesus. Whenever you meet somebody who's on the fucking dark triad, always the mother wound.
Well, what about the father wound?
No, it doesn't. Like, the father wound does cause big problems, don't get me wrong. But if the primal attachment is severed with the mother, they're fucked. They are fucked. At least with like the father wound, it's not the primal first one. The mother wound is like, it's big. It causes massive issues like psychopaths, narcissists, borderline, all of it. It's the mother.
Okay, I want to play, well, maybe I shouldn't.
I mean, not everybody who has borderline personality disorder is a bad person.
No, not at all. Not at all. That's not what I'm saying. But it is an issue. Like if your primary attachment, I mean, if that's fucked, you've got a lifetime of issues that you've got to work through. And a personality disorder is tough because that's like a window of development that just gets fucking sidetracked mega sometimes, depending on what the condition the person has. But yeah, I think the primal attachment is so important. It's really important who you have kids with.
Yeah. I mean, The thing is, you're making the assumption that the woman giving birth to the children is actually an equilibrated woman with a stable fucking mind and body and a stable environment. It's such a shot in the dark because there's no one knows the future. So all you can try to do is be now. If you try to, plan for the future, that's why I say calendars and to-do lists are kind of like, useful tools, but at the same time, if you were really in the now, you would just say next, 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 next. You could try to prioritize right now. So you don't technically need pen and paper or some kind of calendar or scheduling system. It's like, what do I need to do right now? Okay, I'm going to do it. And then you do it. And it's like, I am doing what I need to do in prioritizing what I need to prioritize right now. It's that simple, ladies and gentlemen. Doesn't require even a pen and paper. You just got to ask yourself, what do I need to do right now? And I think I need to create something right now. Okay, I'm going to read 2 more pages from this book. This is called Action. Please keep your mics muted. It will take only 3 minutes. Here we go. In order to have good soldiers, a nation must always be at war. The army is a school in which the niggardly become generous and the generous prodigal. If there are soldiers who are misers, like monsters, they are very rarely seen. Generals cannot be entrusted with anything, not even with war. Force and fraud are in war the 2 cardinal virtues. In time of war, the loudest patriots are the greatest profiteers. War hath no fury like a non-combatant. Soldiers who don't know what they're fighting for know, nevertheless, what they're not fighting for. Liberty means responsibility. That is why most men dread it. Men that distrust their own subtlety are in tumult and sedition, better disposed for victory than they that suppose themselves wise. For these love to consult, the other fearing to be circumvented to strike first. The matter of seditions is of 2 kinds, much poverty and much discontentment. And if this poverty and broken estate in the better sort be joined with a want and necessity in the mean people, the danger is imminent and great, for the rebellions of the belly are the worst. As a rule, insurrections, even those which succeed, begin without a leader, but they always end by securing one. To reform means to shatter one form and to create another, but the 2 sides of this act are not always equally intended nor equally successful. The purity of a revolution can last a fortnight. The men who lose their heads most easily and who generally show themselves weakest on days of revolution are the military, accustomed as they are to have an organized force facing them and an obedient force in their hands. They readily become confused before the tumultuous uproar of a crowd and in the presence of the hesitation and occasional connivance of their own men. In times of revolution, people boast almost as much about the imaginary crimes they propose to commit as in normal times they do of the good intentions they pretend to entertain. In revolution, there is no joy, nor ever will be. The secret of the demagogue is to make himself as stupid as his audience, so that they believe they are as clever as he. Heroes are created by popular demand, sometimes out of the scantiest materials, such as the apple that William Tell never shot, the ride that Paul Revere never finished, the flag that Barbara Frietchie never waved.
In order to have good soldiers.
Okay, the ape man wants to say something. It's a big phallus you have there.
This nigga gay.
Who says I'm gay? You are gay. You are gay. What are you N-words talking about? J-words?
No, I'm reading a book. Have you heard of one?
I've heard of one. I haven't read of one, though.
So, as someone who wastes a lot of time on this app, let's be honest.
Yeah, that's me.
You haven't taken even one step higher on the ladder of wisdom, have you?
I think I've taken a step or two down.
Oh, then you are in the right place. You are exactly where you need to be right now.
That's right.
You are exactly where you need to be right now. Congratulations. But do you have mic discipline? Do you have thought discipline? Do you have speaking discipline? Just how ape-like are you?
I can't help myself when I'm around thoughts, especially if they're twerking. It is what it is.
The curvature of the ass, the pussy that bends steel, the ape that has no discipline is no man at all. Just a weak primate conditioned by his environment who knows nothing greater than his own stupidity.
But I did eat 4 McDoubles yesterday, so... Zach, have you gotten anyone to sign up for
You're the Matrix. One of us is in the Matrix, and I think it's probably not me.
I think it's me, jungle.
I think it's you two.
Okay, I'm gonna read two more pages of this. It's called Book. Maybe some of you have heard of it. I know it's 2025 and people forgot what book is, but we will re-emphasize the point.
I think I read Book before.
Bought this amazing new phone for $200. It's a Motorola 2025. Okay, this is the third part. So far we have read Religion and God as well as War. And now we're going to go to a different topic. I hope you find this enlightening. This is called The Life of the Mind, Reason, and Thought. Take the deepest breath of your hypnotic day. Hold it for 10 seconds and say, I'm not gay. This is called The Life of the Mind, Reason, and Thought. No question is so difficult to answer as that to which the answer is obvious. The struggle for existence holds as much in the intellectual as in the physical world. A theory is a species of thinking, and its right to exist is coextensive with its power of resisting extinction by its rivals. Eternity is in love with the productions of time. While we talk logic, we are unanswerable, but then, on the other hand, the universal living scene of things is, after all, as little a logical world as it is a poetical, and as it cannot without violence be exalted into poetical perfection, neither can it attenuated into a logical formula, a gloss on Descartes. Sometimes I think, and sometimes I am. What is now proved was only once imagined. If the cultivation of the understanding consists in one thing more than in another, it is surely in learning the grounds of one's own opinions. The man who sees the consistency in things is a wit. The man who sees the inconsistency in things is a humorist. Analysis makes for unity, but not necessarily for goodness. The natural flights of the human mind are not from pleasure to pleasure, but from hope to hope. On proportion, the classic whole depends. That whole has a place for the romantic beginning. It puts the romantic into its place certainly, and firmly keeps it there, but the anti-classic has no place for any image at all, either of the beginning or of the end, only for a makeshift. The value of a principle is the number of things it will explain. Principles always become a matter of vehement discussion when practice is at ebb. The man who listens to reason is lost. Reason enslaves all whose minds are not strong enough to master her. In an unreasonable age, a man's reason let loose would undo him. Synthetical reasoning, setting up as its goal some unattainable abstraction like an imaginary quantity in algebra, and commencing its course with taking for granted some two assertions which cannot be proved. From the union of these two assumed truths produces a third assumption, and so on in an infinite series, to the unspeakable benefit of the human intellect. The beauty of this process is that at every step it strikes out into two branches in a compound ratio of ramification, so that you are perfectly sure of losing your way and keeping your mind in perfect health by the perpetual exercise of an interminable quest. Peacock. By the perpetual exercise of an interminable quest. Okay, that's called The Life of the Mind, Reason, and Thought. Those are aphorisms. I left out all the names of the person that the aphorism is attributed to. Because they're dead. But you're alive, so what does it matter what their name is? Just take their wisdom and run with it. This is literally like a script reading business now. I went into a script store in LA once. It's technically just a bookstore, but like all their books are literally like scripts or film and movie related. I think that store did eventually shut down, but it was like a historical store that was in LA for like, 50 years or something. The point is, I bought a script, or this girl that I was seeing that I was working with bought a script book, and we read scripts for her audition, because technically I'm like a voice coach. Many people can't actually read without making errors, because it takes practice to read succinctly without fucking it up. And could you imagine?
Is that true? You help people read. Say that again? Sorry, I was just doing something.
It's called listening to people read books. If you have the patience and the time and the interest.
Okay.
I was interested because the chick was hot. But all she let me do was finger her over her pants, not inside the pants.
That's the worst.
I was like, you just can't push the limit. But I was having so much fun. I think the fun thing is, like, even if you don't pop a load, you're like raising your kundalini to a very high level. And if if you want to improve your health, just do like naked yoga with a stripper, but you can't touch her, and your body will produce so many hormones. Like, I think that is probably one way to like psyop the body and the brain, is like sexual,
Is this
abstinence.
basically like the whole idea of the semen retention thing?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's got to be truth in that because, like, but you need release. You can't build up tremendous pressure without release. It's just that logically doesn't make sense.
Well, it gets painful, dude.
Oh, I know.
Literally gets painful. Yeah. I think there is something to it, though.
Yeah, I think so. If you're having health problems like inflammation from getting, Pfizer, Moderna, J&J injections, some people have like 6 injections, and it's like, how many more, doctor? How many more will I need? You might need them for the rest of your life. Oh no! They tricked me. Did you see that Fox News host? She's like, I regret ever getting the vaccine and the boosters. I can't remember what's that hot chick's name. Megyn Kelly.
No,
Megyn Kelly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she was on TV. Like, it was a whole news article about how much she regrets it. And anyways, it's neither here nor there.
Yeah, I wonder like how people rationalize the ones who got like a booster and then a second. Like, how do they rationalize stopping? Like, I can almost understand the people that are like on their like 7th booster more than I can understand someone who got like 2 boosters. It's like, why stop? Why bother stopping?
The drop off rate is like 80% after the first injection. Like, I don't even know what the real booster numbers are. We could Google it, but it's got to be a high drop off from the first shot. People were like, I'm not doing a second, and I'm not doing. Because remember, the vaccine schedule card showed 2 full vaccinations and then your booster regimens. So whatever that vaccine card, basically the form you had to fill out or whatever, like that thing kind of dictated the schedule, right?
I don't know. I never even saw the card. I didn't go. I wasn't talking about that.
You never saw a COVID-19 vaccine card in your life?
No.
Wow. I guess, where do you live? Arizona? Oh, that's probably why.
Yeah, we had, it's very weird because I lived like in a very liberal area right by ASU, so there was like a lot of people walking up to bars with masks and taking it off, then putting it back on, then taking it off to drink their beer. But there was never any sort of like having to show a vaccine card to get into any place. So it was a weird sort of balance. There was this one thing that was very bizarre. People were losing their mind. Well, like the liberals were losing their minds. There was Doug Ducey was our governor at the time, and he signed a bill that, to my understanding, the bill simply said you cannot force kids to wear masks in school. And people lost their mind as if the bill was like saying you can't allow a kid to wear a mask in school. It was a very bizarre time. It really, I don't know. It was very difficult for me to like understand when I was around.
Okay, this is a book. Welcome.
Myself a new language while juggling fire? So can you. Well, not the...
There's got to be truth in that because, like, but you need release. This is called the life of the mind, reason, and thought. No question is so difficult to answer as that. There's got to be truth in that, because like religion and God, the learning thine, that learning thine ambassador, from thine allegiance we never tempt, that beauty paradise's flower, for physique made from poison be exempt, that wit born apt high good to do, by dwelling lazily on nature's nothing, be not nothing too. that our affections kill us not nor die. Hear us weak echoes, O thou hear and cry. Make me chaste and continent, but not just yet. Heaven help me, she prayed, to be decorative and to do right. God will provide, if only he would till he does so. Heaven is too much like earth to be spoken of as it really is, lest the generality should think it like the earth, which is hell. The joys of this life are not its own, but our dread of ascending to a higher life. The torments of this life are not its own, but our self-torment because of that dread. The law imposed what it did not give. Grace gives what it imposes. All the passions produce prodigies. A gambler is capable of watching and fasting almost like a saint. He has his premonitions. There is a great danger of loving God as the gambler loves his game. We should only do those righteous actions which we cannot stop ourselves from doing, which we are unable not to do. But through well-directed attention, we should always keep on increasing the number of these actions which we are unable not to do. Grace is indeed required to turn man into a saint, and he who doubts this does not know what either a man or a saint is. Most saints in the past were created by the people in spite of the priests. Are you not scared by seeing that the gypsies are more attractive to us than the apostles? There is a goal but no way. What we call the way is mere wavering. The true way goes over a rope which is not stretched at any great height but just above the ground. It seems more designed to make people stumble than to be walked upon. There are countless places of refuge. There is only one place of salvation, but the possibilities of salvation again are as numerous as all the places of refuge. Even the things you do after the flesh are spiritual. Who sweeps a room as for thy laws makes that and the action fine. Religion and God, the learning thine, that learning, thine ambassador, from thine allegiance we never tempt. That beauty paradise's flower, for physique made from poison be exempt. That wit, born apt high good to do, by dwelling lazily on nature's nothing, be not nothing too, that our affections kill us not nor die. Hear us weak echoes, O thou hear and cry. Make me chaste and continent, but not just yet. Heaven help me, she prayed, to be decorative and to do right. God will provide, if only he would till he does so. Heaven is too much like earth to be spoken of as it really is, lest the generality should think it like the earth, which is hell. The joys of this life are not its own, but our dread of ascending to a higher life. The torments of this life are not its own, but our self-torment because of that dread. The law imposed what it did not give. Grace gives what it imposes. All the passions produce prodigies. A gambler is capable of watching and fasting almost like a saint. He has his premonitions. There is a great danger of loving God as the gambler loves his game. We should only do those righteous actions which we cannot stop ourselves from doing, which we are unable not to do. But through well-directed attention, we should always keep on increasing the number of these actions which we are unable not to do. Grace is indeed required to turn a man into a saint, and he who doubts this does not know what either a man or a saint is. Most saints in the past were created by the people in spite of the priests. Are you not scared by seeing that the gypsies are more attractive to us than the apostles? There is a goal but no way. What we call the way is mere wavering. The true way goes over a rope which is not stretched at any great height, but just above the ground. It seems more designed to make people stumble than to be walked upon. There are countless places of refuge. There is only one place of salvation, but the possibilities of salvation again are as numerous as all places of refuge. Even the things you do after the flesh are spiritual. Who sweeps a room as for thy laws makes that and the action fine. Religion and God, the learning that learning, thine ambassador, from thine allegiance we never tempt. That beauty paradise's flower, for physique made from the song be exempt. That wit born
Motherfucker, I'm in that motherfucker losing my sweating, nigga. I'm coming up. When I tell you, G, my blood was boiling, G. Boiling, on God, like, man. Cause the niggas knew what they was doing, G. When DJ was the only one out of everybody who I was really the coolest with, right?
I know you said you love the blacks, but we don't believe you.
So wait, so how did watermelon come to be like a Palestinian?
We colonized
Steal that
it.
from. You
When you
colonized?
banned our
Yeah.
flag,
We've seen this.
when you banned our flag, we started drawing the watermelon.
We've seen this.
The watermelon. What? You ever heard of some watermelon?
Because of the colors, no.
You fucking clown.
Colors?
We appreciate the solidarity, Norm.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
I'm here for you.
No, we've seen your comments in the chat. We've seen the screenshots.
Thank you.
You're very
Thank you.
disrespectful.
What did you like? Did you like anything that I wrote?
Link is in the chat.
I've never liked.
The link is in the chat.
I've never
The
really
link
liked
is in the chat.
You know me.
What
My
did I
opinion
like?
doesn't change.
No.
Norm, you're Jewish. Did you know that?
I think my mom told me.
I just gotta remind you every 15 minutes.
No,
Thank you.
no,
Thank you.
no Milikowski.
You're a Jew.
No Milikowski. So they call it.
Poor Milikowski now is yeah, he's Norm, where's your ancestors from? Where's your grandma? Yeah, I'm gonna be Philip from back in the day. Norm, where's your grandfather from?
Judea.
What about his father?
Poland,
Judea.
Auschwitz.
So if I Google Judea on Google Maps, you think it'll show up as a result?
Try it. Judea and Samaria.
This dude is in fantasy land, man. He's just in a war environment. Like, you are from Europe, your ancestors. Your grandma and grandpa are Yugoslavian.
Yugoslavian.
Something, yes. They are
Something.
Europeans. There's something subhuman.
Slave owners, that's what they were.
Yes,
They,
colonizers.
We're charging
Yeah,
them to
We
get
had a lot of
money.
slaves in
They funded
a lot of
us.
slaves
Poland,
in- what did you say?
Yugoslavia,
Yugoslavia,
fucking
Albania,
Iceland. Yeah.
Iceland,
Norm, why are you
Sicily.
so subversive in society?
They're from somewhere over there. Like,
What's that?
stop trying to be
Why are
black.
you so
He just wants to be melanated so bad. You're
I
not
want to be
part of
melanated.
You're not black,
I want to
Nostril.
be melanated.
Deal with it. You're as white as the snow.
I'm a melanated person. No, I'm melanated.
No, you're white.
I am. I'm melanated.
You're white.
I have marshmallows.
You're from Poland.
They have a lot of melilation in Poland. They call Poland the melilation nation.
Norm, I see you the same way as the Black Hebrew Israelites, except you're white. You're a white.
He's a white.
Right.
He's a white Hebrew
But you're also-
Israelite.
And unfortunately,
I dress like a Power Ranger.
you have your own. Yes, literally.
Yes,
you're,
I know
You're
I
no
do.
different than that.
I know.
I'm sorry to tell you. I'm sorry.
Don't
to
be
tell
sorry.
You are no different.
I am a Power Ranger. I'm a Power
Okay,
Ranger.
buddy.
Okay, buddy boy, fella.
Okay, pal.
Okay, guy. Hey,
Yeah.
guy.
Beat your ass.
Oh, right.
Yeah, beat your ass.
Oh, I hope not. That sounds
Dirty
scary.
Zion.
Are you a scary fella?
You dirty Zionist.
Do you throw flip flops? You throw flip flops?
Norm, the problem is you're Jewish. Like, if you weren't Jewish,
That must
we'd
be a
be
problem.
okay. Because
I do have a question for
society and controlling the media and the banks and the fucking funding
Oh
goes
my
on the
God!
Lord.
I control everything.
Normal. I
I'm so
do
busy.
have a question. Normal, I do have a question for you.
I'm sure
Today
you do.
there was an attack. There was an attack in the West Bank. There was about 12 people
You
that got
mean in
injured.
Judea and Samaria?
Yeah, but that doesn't belong to you according to international law, right?
Well, you know what?
It's under
I disagree
occupation.
with international.
So let me ask you this:
I think
does
it
that
belongs
person?
to us.
Hold on. Does that?
You wanna come
does
visit?
That,
Amir?
hold on. Does that?
You have a
hold on.
3,000
When are you gonna visit? You've never been to
Hold on,
Israel. You're in Poland.
hold on. I want to explore this idea. Does that give the Palestinian to right to resist and kick them out of their own home? The 12 people that they have injured, that he has injured, because that's his homeland. It's under occupation according to the Israeli Supreme Court.
Who injured what?
It's a Palestinian, right? He injured 12.
Palestinian?
Yeah, Palestinian. Yeah.
Is it Palestine or Palestine now? Which is it?
Palestine, Palestinian, Palestini, whatever you want to call it.
Palestini, so it's got a lot of
Yeah.
different names.
Yeah, help
this
yeah.
European
So,
man out.
okay.
Help this
Make it
European
make
man
sense.
out.
Is it okay? Is it okay for the Arab, right? The Palestinian that actually
Arab.
belongs. Yeah, that belongs to the land.
Okay,
Yeah,
he
it's from-
belongs
it's
to the
from-
land. So in other
He's
words,
from. Hold on.
he
he's
belongs
from
to
that
the
land.
land.
News: another Israeli Jew has been arrested on suspicion of spying for Iran.
Oh my God!
Iran.
So does he have the right to kick you out, the Israeli settler out of the West Bank?
Who's he kicking out now?
The Israeli settlers out of the West Bank, if it's a
Kicking who?
Palestinian? If it's a Palestinian, according to you, Palestinian, if he was a Palestinian, does he have the right to kick them out?
I don't follow your logic.
Does he have the right to kick out of his own home? Palestinian in the West Bank versus the Israeli settler. Can he kick him out?
Versus?
Oh my God, bro, this guy is delusional.
Daniel.
Put the link in above the room. I'm trying to follow what you're
Did
saying.
you?
I don't think you can follow. You're
I
subhuman.
said there was an attack that happened today. 12
Okay,
people
there
were
was an attack.
injured by a Palestinian.
Where did this happen?
Palestinian
Where?
in the West Bank. In the West Bank.
Where in Judea and
In the
Samaria?
West Bank. In the West Bank. West
Name a
Bank.
town. Name a town.
West
Any
Bank.
town.
West Bank. West Bank. West Bank. It doesn't matter.
That's not a town. Well,
Doesn't matter, doesn't matter.
It's called
The
in the
whole-
West Bank.
The whole West Bank is under occupation, by the way.
What do the Palestinians call it?
It don't matter. It don't matter.
Oh, it don't matter. Okay. When did it become? When did
Oh,
it become
my God.
under occupation? When did that happen?
More than 50 years ago. 50 years ago.
50 years ago. So right
1967.
now. 1975.
67.
In 67 it became under occupation. Who was
Yes.
who owned it before that? 67. Who was there before that?
It was Jordan.
Jordan. Okay. So we occupied it from Jordan.
No, Jordan was occupying it because it was illegal under Jordanian government, and it's illegal right now.
So the Palestinians have a beef with Jordan.
No, they don't. They treated
don't
them
have a
like
beef
human
with
beings.
Jordan?
They treated Palestinians as human beings.
Okay. So they can occupy the land if they treat them like human beings? Do they have weapons against Jordan or not? So all we have to do is treat them like
I'm
human
talking
beings
about.
and then
I'm
there's no more
talking about.
occupation?
I'm talking about Israeli settlers getting kicked out
So when
by
did
the
Palestine
Palestinians in
become...
the West Bank.
You said
This
Jordan
guy's gonna